Last time on the Food Traveler, we were on the sunny beaches of Waikiki. This week, we'll be going to two countries, actually. The Emerald Isle, Ireland, and Germany, the land of poets and thinkers. But first, I want to talk to you about our Vlogmas contest and our pet contest we got going on. Come on, people, send in your entries. This is the one for the Pootie contest. We've only got a few entries so far. And the same goes for Vlogmas, not too many more. You guys need to get your entries sent in so you can have a chance of winning one of the prizes that my family's giving away. Okay, now back to our recipe. I call this one Irish German hash. This is a made-up recipe. About a few years ago, my dad had made some really good corned beef, and he sent some over. And on a Saturday night, we decided to make Reubens out of it. Well, there was still some corned beef and some sauerkraut left, and I decided to make corned beef hash for breakfast because we had a can of corned beef. Well, I went to get on our potato bin, and we were out of potatoes, but we did have a bag of potatoes O'Brien in the freezer. So I decided to combine the two and put them together, and I started cooking them, and I thought, heck, what the heck? There's about 1 cup of sauerkraut left. I'll just go ahead and throw that in there too. Well, I did it. It made it a little soggy, so I decided to put it on a sheet pan and throw it in the oven to dry it out just a little bit and make it taste a little crisper because we don't like soggy hash. And that's how this recipe came to be. Our sons really like it. Our youngest son, he'll actually just take it and put it on 2 pieces of buttered toast and eat it as a sandwich if nothing else. He really loves it. He always said if someone's finicky about trying it, tell them, well, it tastes better than the Blarney Stone. And what you're going to need for this recipe is some garlic powder, about half a can of sauerkraut, salt and pepper, a can of corned beef, and I use a little blackening seasoning in mine. It's one of the things we've added in, but you don't have to. It's just an extra. A little bit of regular old Louisiana hot sauce, some onion powder, and a bag of potatoes O'Brien. It already has the diced up peppers and onions. And you can add in more peppers and onions if you like. We do that sometimes. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is get my potatoes cooking in a pre-oiled skillet. Add in my potatoes. I got my skillet, I put about 2 or 3 good tablespoons of vegetable oil in there, and I got my stove on medium high, depending on how your stove cooks. Okay, before I start putting my seasoning in, we added some more peppers and onions because there wasn't a whole lot in that bag. Ain't that a nice Christmas color? White, red, and green. Okay, I'm going to add in a little bit of onion powder. Like I said, I don't measure this out. I just sprinkle it. And my garlic powder. A little bit of my Zatarain's blackened seasoning. Like I said, you don't have to put this in there. It just adds just a little more flavor to it. And a little bit of salt. And black pepper. So we like pepper around here, so we use pepper pretty liberally. And last but not least, I use my good old Louisiana hot sauce. And that's about as hot as I like it. The Penguin, though, she uses, what's the name of that you use? Sriracha sauce?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she uses the Sriracha sauce.
I use it on everything.
Yeah, that's everything, too. She's got a cast iron stomach compared to me.
Comes from spending a lot of time overseas. Everything is hot and spicy. Like me, baby, hot and spicy.
Yeah, you're hot and spicy. Now, I've let this cook for, it's ready to be flipped for the first time. So we're going to go ahead and start flipping it over.
And this isn't the only video we're going to be doing for tonight now. It's not going to be a habit. We're going to have 2 videos up every night, but yeah. Penguin has to get her 2 cents in, you know, when it comes to making a video.
I wanted to make this one, so.
Because this is what's for dinner, and it's so yummy, and we haven't had it for a while.
There's the first flip, and I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more, and we're going to let it cook. When it's ready to flip again, we'll come back and we'll flip it again. Okay, and here we're back to turn it over again. Oh yeah, now it's browning good. I always try to get my potatoes and stuff good and brown before I put the hash in. Okay, I've had them cooking like about 12 to 14 minutes now, and you see how they're getting some good brown on the potatoes there. So now it's time to add in our hash. Never had one come out of a can exactly that way before, but this one did. There we go. I got the hash down in there. Now I've got my can of sauerkraut. I'm going to put a strainer on top of it, and I'm going to pour just a little bit of the juice off to start with.
Love sauerkraut. That smell of sauerkraut.
And let that get warm. I'm going to put a lid on it now just for a couple minutes and let that meat start to heat up so I can cut it apart.
Okay, he took the lid off. Just the hash had to get a little warm so he could chop it up into the pan, which is what he's doing now, our lovely chef. Isn't that right, chef?
Yeah. Now we're going to get that chopped up about that small. Still got chunks in there, but it'll cook down. Get mixed up good with the potatoes. I'm going to leave that on medium high again.
And I hope you guys really give this a try. I know the first time, you know, he had made this and was telling me about it, I'm like, I don't know if I want any, you know, hash and sauerkraut. But man, was I wrong. This is something that our family just scarfs up. And like I said, he said the boys make sandwiches out of them. They do, especially the oldest. He'll make sandwiches out of them. So the youngest one, he makes sandwiches out of them. Actually, the youngest one, as long as there's hash left, he's making sandwiches. He won't eat it until it's completely gone. So it's one of these things that we hope you try. Don't knock it until you try it. That's all we ask.
Okay, I'm going to let it cook like this, probably 5 or 10 minutes, and let that meat break down. If you ever cooked hash before, you know it keeps crumbling and getting smaller and smaller. When it starts getting that way and the potatoes are starting to brown up back again because they got soggy again, I'm going to just take a couple forkfuls of the kraut out, not a whole lot yet, and just put a couple forkfuls out in there, and that way some of it cooks into it. And then when it gets done, I'm going to take it out and go to the next step. Okay, now we're ready for the next step. I'm going to give it a good flip here. You see it's browning really good. Get it all mixed up again.
Sorry about our lighting. It's not the best. He's got the over the stove light on too, but just kind of throws off the color a little bit.
Now we're going to go and add a couple of good forkfuls of the kraut and spread it around.
How many of you like to eat sauerkraut out of a can?
I do. I love it on hot dogs. I love it on Reuben sandwiches.
Sauerkraut and dumplings, hot dogs and sauerkraut, Reubens, of course.
And we're going to give that just a couple minutes, and then we're going to flip it over again and stir it around. And then we're going to transfer it to a sheet pan that I've already got sprayed down over here. And I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. When we get that laid out on there, we'll be on the next step. And speaking of Ireland and Germany, we've always wanted to travel overseas, see the UK and Scotland and Ireland and Wales. My family's from somewhere in Wales originally, they say. We've always wanted to go through Spain and France and Portugal and end up over in Germany. We've watched TV shows on Cologne, Germany. They got a really, really nice zoo there and everything they were showing on TV. If this COVID ever gets over with and we can afford it, we'd like to travel overseas. Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go to the McDonald's I've seen on TV. It's over in Germany. You can actually order a Big Mac, a fry, and a beer. And they got some kind of specialty sandwich there too. I don't know if it's a schnitzel or not. It's pork and something that they don't have anywhere else. Okay, now I got it flattened out on my sheet pan, and I'm going to add the rest of my kraut. Okay, just going to lightly spread some more kraut on the top.
Yummy,
Get
yummy.
some more of the juice out of it a little bit.
If you have enough, can you save me a bite?
Yeah, oh yeah, there's plenty left. I only use about half a can or a little over.
I love sauerkraut.
Like I said, you guys really should give this a try before you just say, ew. I know a lot of people say, oh, that looks kind of weird, but...
No, don't knock it until you try it. I promise. It's good.
It's actually pretty good. There we go. Now I'm going to put that in the oven on 350. I'm going to set the timer for about 5 minutes. Let it cook a little bit and start watching to see if the kraut's starting to dry out. When the kraut starts to dry out, it's done.
Yeah, we'll let you know about how long it took, but that sauerkraut juice is going to seep down into that, into those potatoes and stuff, and oh, Lord have mercy. It is so good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very good. Okay, we'll be back.
And there you have it, my version of Irish German hash. We'll get that plated up for you and show you what it looks like. And there you have it, Irish German hash with 2 sunny side up eggs and 2 pieces of toast. Breakfast is what's for dinner tonight. We hope you like our concoction that we've come up with. We really like it. Like I said, give things a try. You never know if you're going to like it until you try it. If you like it, but you don't like so much kraut, cut some kraut out. You like more kraut, add more. Want more peppers, onions? Same thing. I do the same thing. I always used to make it with just potatoes I cut up myself. When we started buying the pre-made potatoes O'Brien, it made it a little easier because then all I had to do was go back and add some more peppers and onions into it. But like I said, if it looks good, try it. You only go around one time.
Now we're going to go eat because Penguin is hungry.
Yeah. And then we're going to get ready to do another video for Vlogmas.
Happy Vlogmas. Whoop, whoop.